Confidence is like show up in every single moment like you're meant to be there. Random useless internet quote, Instagram quote to be exact. Welcome everybody. Welcome back to the ThyGap podcast. This is your host, Bogus Noog, and with me is your host,
Being Brute.
Brute, welcome back to the show.
Yes, Bogus. Amazing welcome. Warm. I can feel the sweat.
Were you
because of the
moved
warmth.
by that Instagram quote, Brute?
It was extremely moving. I really wanted to walk out of the room off the recording because I was so confident.
Yeah.
And why are we talking about confidence so much?
Because this week we are doing It's Not Easy Confidence. And Brute, as our template goes,
Yes.
as you know,
Let's get through it.
we start off by going through our socials, the most important thing. Of course.
Absolutely. Supremely critical.
Yes.
So,
On Instagram we are.
@_ThyGap,
On Twitter we are.
@ThyGap,
Our email is.
mindthygap@gmail.com. And all those people who are thinking that ThyGap is spelled, it is THIGH and all, please look at our logo. It is THYGAP.
Yes.
It can't be trademarked by anyone else.
It couldn't be more confusing.
Yeah.
Now, Brute, as our template goes, we start off our It's Not Easy episodes with explaining the context.
Yes,
and
setting the
meaning.
context.
Setting the context.
Yeah, it's
yes.
not, you don't explain the context because just set up the context, okay?
Podero para.
Yeah. Now, what we are going to do now is I'm going to tell you a little story about what the context is of this episode with respect to confidence. What we mean by confidence is...
Well, the internet definition, as we always check for our present day reference,
Right.
what Google believes as of today
Yeah.
is confidence is the feeling or belief that one can have faith in or rely on someone or something.
Absolutely inconsequential definition.
The second definition is the telling of private matters or secrets with mutual trust.
Once again, far away from what we wanted to talk today. And this is exactly why we do this exercise of setting up what we are talking about as ThyGap.
So we are on the same page.
Yes. The ones who are listening and the ones who are talking.
Yep.
Confidence, according to ThyGap, is the quality that will help you function at the optimal best.
Yeah, we were not really defining it, Brute.
Yeah,
We're
we're just
actually
setting up the
saying-
context.
Yeah, the context for this episode is we're talking about the nature of confidence
Yes,
itself.
correct. That too.
How do the mechanics work?
Yeah. What does confidence comprise of?
Yeah, if you go beneath the surface and look at the nuts and the gears,
Yeah. The
Yeah.
cogs and the
wheels,
wheels.
how does it all work? So that's the
It
context.
works exactly like a watch.
Like a lot of things, I guess.
Yeah, which have cogs and wheels and nuts and bolts. But Bogus, let's deep down. Why do we have to do this? Is because, again, extremely loosely used term.
Yes.
It's like be
Thrown
confident.
around.
Yeah, Bogus, why don't you be confident?
It's like those pamphlets
Which are thrown at your face even though you
in
don't want to
Ameerpet.
read them.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
all the software development languages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why it is important that we understand the nature of confidence, because once we understand the nature of something, it becomes a part of us.
So, Brute, why is it not easy?
Why is confidence not easy? It's a very interesting question, because the first thing is we quite do not know if we have.
We don't know what we have. We never explain that reference, by the
Never.
way. Let's just
never.
keep it that way. Yeah.
Yes. Let people figure out that.
Yeah.
Confidence, why is it not easy? Because it's not told properly. It's not conveyed as to why you should be confident, or where
How?
you should get it from, or
Yeah.
how you should be confident.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that kind of creates our own meaning, and we have to figure out our own way of defining that.
Yeah, most of the time, all we hear is either be confident
Yeah.
or act confident.
Act confident. Just be dude, why are you not confident? It's almost like a question also sometimes. As if it's something why are you not wearing shoes on sports day? It's not that simple, right?
Yeah.
So that is one reason why it's not easy to be confident.
Yeah. If you look at the latter scenario first of act confident, what people mean, that's basically the fake it till you make
Yeah.
it philosophy.
Right.
If you're not really confident in yourself, at least pretend
Yeah.
in that key situation.
Right.
So that other people think you are confident.
Right.
So this advice, I've seen in my experience that it only applies to people who know how to pretend.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who do not have a clue. They cannot pretend to save their life.
Yeah.
So this does not help them,
Future
unfortunately.
episode, it's not easy pretending.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretension. Yeah. Subscribe and share.
The other thing is what happens because of that, like being act confident and all. It kind of takes you into different places,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we all mimic. So when you have to act being something, you have to mimic somebody.
You think of that movie scene,
right?
Or that TV show scene,
exactly.
Where the character was charismatic.
This kind of trickles into multiple different things. This kind of enforces hero worship. This kind of enforces that, oh, you know, like he's my idol and I will do everything what he does. And all you can pick up is his body language and nothing beyond that.
Yeah.
So these are some of the drawbacks where though you are kind of trying to follow a formula, you can't still become confident. So it's a very on the job thing to be confident.
Yeah, in my own experience, like I subscribe to that fake it till you make it theory because, again, only if you know how to pretend.
Yeah.
Because it worked for me. Like,
so it's not a general suggestion.
It's not a general, it's a niche kind of suggestion.
Yeah, it's very subjective.
Because I've pretended to be confident in interviews where I was actually not confident at all. And it worked out in my favor. So, but you need to know how to pretend at least.
Right.
So a mimic. Correct. Like you said. Now, the former scenario, bro, which is be confident. If someone is saying, hey, just be confident, like...
It's like, from where? It's like, be posh, like how? Yeah. Where?
It's like, I'm thirsty, be quenched. Thanks.
That solves all my thirsty problems.
Yeah. If only I'd have known, like, you know. But be confident, like, bro, how can someone be confident in the first place?
You can't. Like the simple answer is you can't, because once again, it's about the definition of what you feel is confident will not necessarily be my confidence. Because here is where you kind of go into the root cause of confidence, right? Like confidence can be taken from different sources.
Yeah.
One of the common, I think it's the common 3-point formula or something. Like one is like you get it out of your own belief, self-belief and your own competence. The second is it kind of is borderline inspiration in a way, but you get confident about somebody else's ability, right? Yeah. You kind of relying or piggybacking on somebody else's ability.
Their confidence rubs off on you.
Right.
Yeah.
The third is you're trying to, it's like that crying on the stage kind of a thing where you go back into your own experiences and you're like, yeah, if I could do that, maybe I can do this also, though they are two completely different acts per se, right? Confidence is a very, very volatile trait. No, because the source is very subjective from one person to another.
Yeah.
Confidence as a trait is very difficult to like confine.
Yeah.
Or put like a framework to.
Yeah.
Which makes it even more tricky.
Yeah.
Right? You can't just go around saying that be confident, bro. That's cool. Just be confident. Go talk to the girl.
Yeah.
Like, and you're like, dude, you're not even in my shoes. Like, you have no idea how to deal with this.
Yeah.
So confidence becomes so subjective, or it is case by case. So you have to just pour that enough amount into it, like all the intangible traits that we have, right?
Yeah.
Which is what it doesn't make it easy for you to measure that and then like consume as much as you want.
Yeah, I feel like with confidence, when someone says be confident, right? Like, and you ask like, how do I be confident?
Yeah.
Then the closest you can come to a formulaic approach or a framework to confidence, which generally applies to many people, is looking back at tangible examples of good competence.
Right.
What I mean is, one way to be confident is you need to earn it, first of all.
For yourself.
If you're a person who wants to be confident, but you have no basis, no examples to be confident from, then you need to take risks. You need to put yourself in that position. And if you get a success, then you
kind of like try to repeat that.
Yeah, then that becomes your earning or your return on investment.
Right.
So you earn your confidence. So with more and more examples of that, you earn more and more, and your confidence grows and it builds.
Right.
That is a general formulaic approach, I think, that can be majorly tried out.
Yeah.
But the other niche thing is also one we can't ignore, which is people who have a healthy childhood, who have a healthy upbringing, balanced support from their parents, etc. Along with, like we talked about self-belief, how that is one of the sources for confidence. It just so happens, it seems, that when you have a healthy upbringing, you develop a sense of security, which is the baseline.
Right.
It's not that you're feeling secure about a particular thing. Just in your general life, day-to-day life, you have that constant sense of security because of your healthy upbringing. People who do not have that attention or healthy upbringing, they tend to have a lot of crippling self-doubt. because they never got that validation from their guardians or parents, etc.
It's a debatable point.
It's a niche thing.
But at the same time, it's a debatable point. It also, I think, there's a lot about, your perception innately, how you're designed as a person.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who are like just born confident, and you would see them, right?
Yeah.
And it's not extroverts that I'm talking about. These are guys who are just born confident.
Yeah.
They just are sure. They're just very, secured about their functioning as an individual. And you'll see that in their every move or every action that they take. One of the ways that people see who is confident, who is not, is body language, right? They look into your eye. There's this hacks you can say.
Yeah, how you carry yourself.
How you push your shoulders back, or they're standing straight and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or they have a very controlled speech. Right. So they say that all these things kind of tell you who is confident, who is not.
Yeah.
So there are, the way to that point, and again, it's very subjective from my perspective, is the sense of security that comes from your upbringing can only give you a cushion where I feel you might lose the fear of failure. Saying that even if I fail, it doesn't really hurt me because I'm not going to be judged upon my failure.
It's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
They will still try to see the merit in what I did, though I failed. So maybe I will have a second chance. So the upbringing part gives the security in terms of the fear of failure. It takes away that fear. But when it comes to confidence, and I think that's how it gets related to this, because if you keep failing, your confidence is not really there.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe they are connecting it to the whole, secure environment and the ecosystem that you grew up in. But I do not quite really put my money on that point that confidence will come out of, or confidence is kind of a byproduct of how you were brought up, etc. Because there is enough evidence, or there's enough sample set that has proven these things the other way around, right? So
what you mean by that is that sometimes we have examples of people who did not have a healthy upbringing.
Yeah.
But they still were confident, or they were able to pull it off.
Yeah.
So I only meant that as one of the factors that could contribute to it. It's not a be all and end all thing. But like we know, like you mentioned earlier as well, ultimately an adult personality is a clash of nature and nurture.
Right.
Like somewhere or the other, the chips will fall.
Yeah.
It just turns out this way or that way sometimes.
Yeah, that is true. We are all victims of circumstances.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
But by and large, I think that philosophy of you can earn your own confidence by tangible examples. Maybe you're a poor judge of your own competence.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not looking at your successes.
Right.
When you already have them. That's one reason. The other reason is maybe you're very young and you don't have those examples yet. So then you have to start, putting your actions out there.
Yeah. So the question now becomes, why is it still not easy? And the other really important aspect about confidence as a trait, the nature of confidence is it is ridiculously brittle.
Yeah.
You can work years to build confidence, and it will take a snap for you to lose it.
Yes.
And it disowns you in ways where it is horrible. You feel so lonely.
Yeah.
If I can use that in this context.
I think that's true.
Hence, it is really important that once you get confident, you should also learn. Why it gets so tricky and not easy to do it is because it's not just about getting confidence, but it's about sticking to it.
Yeah.
Because it can leave you at a snap, and the smallest of failure and any surprise also. Life is full of surprises, Bogus.
Yeah.
If you don't know it yet.
It's like a box of chocolates. Anyways, yeah.
Any little surprise can actually break your confidence.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
Any unforeseen calamity. So for me, the biggest reason why it's not easy is because confidence is a very brittle nature.
And I think brittle is really the perfect way to describe it.
I only do perfect things. I'm perfection.
Because I think it comes down to ultimately the human condition. The reason why one success can give us some amount of confidence, like if it is, I got 35 confidence.
Yeah.
In video game terms.
Yeah.
Plus 35. But then the next failure will not be minus 35. It will pull me down to minus 50.
Right.
Minus 75.
Right.
It's because, again, as people, we are more drawn towards the negative and we're more focused on that. And that's really because our measure is wrong. The measure of man, ThyGap special.
I'm waiting
two-parter.
for the plug. I was waiting.
ThyGap subscribe. And she.
Any sports guy will relate to this. Any
Yeah.
sports person
Yeah,
will
yeah.
relate to this brittleness of confidence, because you might be playing so well for the longest part
Yeah.
of the game. All it takes is that one good or one,
Yeah.
bad shot or misjudgment. Then suddenly, like, your decision making is off the chart.
Yeah.
Like, you are like, I'm going to be really secure. I'm not going to like throw away. So that is another aspect, which also brings me to the point why the other reason why it's not easy is confidence innately brings a lot of risk element.
Yes.
For you to be confident, you should be having the ability to risk. So, that is also why it's not very easy to be confident all the time.
And maybe that goes back to that root of security or sense of security.
Yeah. I mean, this way I agree to
This
that sense
way,
of
yeah,
security.
security
that,
applies.
Yeah, I
The
don't want to
other
risk
way,
it.
Self-belief applies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Self-belief, I think, is like, it's the root of a huge banyan tree
Yes.
where like traits are the fruits
It's the
of
majority.
self-belief.
Stake. Yeah.
So that is there. But I mean, if you look at it from this perspective, that confidence will bring in that element of risk for you to like perform or for you to go forward is another reason why people choose maybe saying that maybe this is not the way I want to go it. I'll rather be a little less confident, not so ambitious or over assumptive, and try to play it safe.
Right.
And there are repercussions to be like that also, because that will creep into every other aspect of your personality.
So why do you think is important, Bert?
Let's look at it this way, right? It's very easy to figure out why confidence is important. And I'm sure everybody knows this, but we might be reiterating. Imagine a scenario where there is no confidence. What is your general behavior? You're pushed over, you're submissive, you give in too easy, you surrender, etc.
Yeah.
Right? But what confidence does is it eradicates all this.
Yeah.
It makes you more assertive. It makes you more clear.
Yeah.
It makes your communication clear.
Yeah.
Let me put it very, to the T. And the biggest advantage of being a confident person is you make other people confident. I don't know how that works. I seriously don't know. I have experienced that. I've been around confident people and I know how that affects me. How it rubs off.
Bro, if yawning is contagious,
I have a deja vu. Did we do this before in our previous episode?
I don't think so. No.
I think we did.
No, each and every ThyGap episode is a pearl
Yeah.
in an ocean of a unique pearl, beautiful pearl. ThyGap, subscribe.
And share, obviously. But yeah, why is it important is fundamentally it makes you more assertive in your actions.
Yeah, you mentioned the flip side of not being confident. You become submissive and surrender, etc.
You play safe.
The worst thing for me is there is lack of action.
Yes, that too.
To begin with.
There's no call to action.
There is no call to action. And if there is no action, then there is no result or outcome.
Yeah.
If there's no result or outcome, now you have no way to build your confidence.
Yeah.
Because that's where you earn it from. So it's a vicious circle.
Yeah.
So I think that is why it's important.
But having said that, we still need to answer the question of how to be confident.
I think we did. You just have to earn it.
Yeah. So baby steps. I mean, we are just sharing tricks that have worked out for a lot of people. It's not a foolproof plan, but it's a start. They say you build confidence is like the great, Muhammad Ali saying, like one step at a time, one punch at a time.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. It's about taking inconsequential, non-negative result actions or decisions and building your confidence. The other way to like really like get that truckload of confidence is by putting yourself into uncomfortable positions and just testing yourself with zero assumption of outcome. But it's just the fact that can I survive?
Yeah.
Because like you said, again, this might connect to the point of security.
Yeah.
Where security will ultimately give you confidence, etc.
Yeah.
So it's about building that security for yourself, and to the point where what about a person who's never had any result, who's never put himself into application, and still he has to work on the basis of confidence.
Yeah.
This is how they can do it, and this is how everybody eventually does it.
Yeah.
But if you are conscious about what you're trying to get out of that act of being in an uncomfortable position and then working from the downside of advantage, you are trying to get confidence, which basically is building your self-belief or, etc.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why confidence...
It's not easy.
Not easy.
Easy with the easy.